to my session. My name is Osama. I'm representing الاتحاد School Jumeirah. As you see here, my title is How Can Education Pave the Way for a More Sustainable Future? So we hear about sustainability a lot. Sustainability is a must, it's important, but today we need to talk about sustainability from an educational perspective. So it's not only about theories, it's about how can we implement this in our schools. So before we start introducing sustainability and how can we work with sustainability in schools, I want to start with an activity. I know that you might not like hunting, but you might also like fishing, or vice versa. So what I will be giving you, you want to call them fish, you want to call them birds. So it's like your choice. Okay? And you will be working with me, okay, as a leader for the both groups. The rule says no communication within the group. So you shouldn't communicate with her at all until we tell you to do so, okay? And now we'll tell you the instructions step by step so that we can reach a conclusion for that activity. So do you want to call them fish or birds? What do you prefer? Fish or birds? Fish. And you? Fish. That's a sheet. That's a sheet for this group. So that's it. So now, as we said, no communication. So your role to make sure, first of all, that there is no communication between them. And number two, you need to meet with them at the end of round 4 to discuss a few things that we'll be speaking about later on. So round 1, you are 2 families living in a village. And since you chose fishing, your only source for food is fishing. So if you fish, you will eat, you will feed your family. If you don't fish, you cannot live. You have the choice to fish 1, 2, 3, 4, as you like, okay? So please start with round 1. Each person should fish. Okay, just take them. Okay, now under round 1, I want you to write the number of fish that you already fished. How many? 2? Start with round 2. Fish again. Round 2. How many you fished? 3? How many did you fish? Round 3, fish again. Did you fish? No need. Round 4, no need. Okay, now we'll open it for communication. So I want to show you their lake or sea after fishing for 3 rounds. And also I want to show you the lake or sea or whatever after fishing for 3 rounds. So for the first day, you fished how many times? 5. Second one, 5, and then 4. However, in the first day, 2, then 3, and then 4. What did you notice when I added like more fish? Did I added like these like in an equal portions or different portions? Why do you think this happened? Any answer? Why do you think this happened? Why I added more fish here and not there?
Because we have more fish, so they give birth for more fish.
Maybe. They might give birth, they might reproduce, yes. What else? What results you can get from this activity?
Maybe in our case, due to the environment, fish were dying.
Okay.
Could be due to environment, like any reasons.
Okay, the usage had been more fishes were being used, so
Maybe the population pressure and consumption is more.
The consumption here is more, but again, here just 2 families, there are just 2 families, so it's the same variable. Yeah. However, the intake is different. Okay? So how can you relate this to sustainability?
Availability versus consumption. Availability versus consumption.
Availability versus consumption.
What did you do? You added fewer fishes there as compared to others.
Definitely, because they fished more
Oh, they fished.
every round.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So how can you relate this to sustainability?
Yeah. See, for us, I also noticed that as the fishes were growing, we were getting greedier also. We were adding more. But yes, I think being a bit more reserved in our fishing, it helped us. So I think that is what sustainability is all about. Use less so that there's enough in your environment.
Okay. Any other ideas? Maybe? So, if we want to benefit from this activity, this is what's happening with us the whole time. Even if we want to go to restaurants, if we want to get food, for example, in Ramadan or every day, we buy a lot, we do this much, but we don't benefit from everything, and we are throwing the rest. So that's what's happening, for example, in some villages when they go fishing or when they go hunting. They don't fish because it's a need. They fish because it's a hobby. And you will see that there is like a huge amount of fish. Are they eating this? Are they sending this fish, for example, to countries that they need that? No. So you will find year after year, and this is just like one example, that the amount is decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. So what are we keeping for the next generation? That's the whole concept of sustainability. It's not about doing a miracle. It's about taking baby steps by just getting what we need and use and keep something for the next generation. So if I want to go to the definition of sustainability, according to KHDA, it's respecting and living in balance with the world we inhabit and leveraging the power of storytelling. So that's their definition. But again, we all know what is sustainability and how can we enhance or work for a more sustainable future. But the reason why we are here is how to educate for a more sustainable future. And is there like a sustainability framework that we can come with? Because in any school, now if we go to any school in Dubai, you ask them about sustainability, they will tell you yes. We have, for example, some projects related to sustainability. We are doing this in the primary. Our high school students, they worked in a project. That's amazing. But the thing is, are these projects or plans or actions, are these the impact of some input done by leaders or school, or it's just like something done by an individual, student, teacher, few teachers? So is it an individual thing, or is it like a mindset for the whole school and for the community? What we need to do today, we need to go from this session trying to change that mindset of our students, teachers, the community, parents, everyone, and trying to have a framework that we work with in order to have a better future for our kids. Why a framework? I'll give you an example. Before 2008, there was no KHDA. Each school was doing things differently. After having that unified framework, you know what you should do in order to be developing, what you should do in order to be a good school, outstanding school, very good. The framework is not just for guidelines. Sometimes the framework will help you to think in a different way. But the thing is sustainability something new in education? No. Now I will show you a video. Even if you show this to locals in your school, they might not know about this. Okay? This started a long time ago. It started with His Highness Sheikh Zayed. You know that here in Dubai they have the falcons, right? And it's tradition. And do you know that bird that the falcon go and hunt? What do we call it? What do we call that bird? It's called hubara, yeah. It's called hubara. So that bird, year after year, there is like a little number of these birds. So what they are keeping for the future generation. So what will happen to that tradition? What will happen to that sport? This is something, when we say UAE, we say falcons. So let's see what did they do.
First President Sheikh Zayed was a keen follower of the natural world, and during his travels he noticed that declining numbers of the wild. His passion and vision turned into a strategy based on 3 pillars: conservation, human development, and scientific research. The first centre dedicated to breeding Asian bird was opened in 1989, the National Avian Research Centre. And the second centre, Sheikh Khalifa Breeding Centre,
And this is happening here in the UAE.
became operational in 2012. His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the UAE, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, have continued their father's work. Under their leadership and commitment, the Hubara program has expanded to cover the species' entire range. Both centres breed thousands of Asian Hubara every year using state-of-the-art facilities. Scientific expertise has been developed over many years. Early morning in the breeding season, experienced handlers collect seed from the male. All samples referenced, analysed, and dispatched following strict protocols. Each female is inseminated before she lays. Freshly laid eggs are collected.
I'll stop here. So, as you see, they took an action, and this is an action taken by a government. For this reason, it's a big one, just to make sure that they are conserving that bird, so that the next generation will find it. So there is like a huge effort just to make sure that this is conserved. But now if we go back to schools, we cannot do something like this. It needs budgeting, it needs resources, it needs a lot of things. For this reason, as we said, we need to start taking it step by step. We need to have like baby steps. Before we come to Dubai, let's take it worldwide. UNESCO and sustainability. They speak about 5 key aspects: framework, good policies, administrative support, sufficient resources, and learning outcomes. From my experience here in Dubai, I can say when it comes to measuring learning outcomes, all schools now are experts in measuring learning outcomes. So this is, I think, something that we are fine with. Providing sufficient resources in education, trust me, in the UAE, especially Dubai schools, when it comes to resources, we have more resources than any school all over the world. The resources are everywhere in the school. There is like big budgeting for the resources. I will come to the support and leadership. Also, this is something that should be there. But our problem is mainly with the first two. Having a framework and having policies and implementing these good policies, and who's writing these good policies. Let me start discussing with you the second one. Policies regarding sustainability. What happens usually, many schools, they start thinking big. We need to do this. No, we cannot do that. And they start searching for similar policies on the internet, try to implement something similar or what other schools are doing. This is nice just to have an idea. But the thing is, you need to start from your school, from your community. You might have a very simple policy and 2-3 inputs every year, and you can build on that. Different backgrounds, different schools, different resources, and different learning outcomes. They cannot have same policies, but they may have the same framework. So I thought about that framework. You have like 3 inputs: leadership, curriculum, and teaching. And then I look at the impact on learners. Are you familiar with this framework? Did you see this framework somewhere? Where did you see it?
Yeah. In the framework PhD.
Where exactly? Under which part?
It comes under 4, number 4.1
Let me help you.
and 3.
It's mainly the innovation framework of KHDA. It's the innovation framework. Because when it comes to innovation, again, this is like a misconception. So it's not about creating something out of nothing and this is innovation. No. If we read the standards and we take them one by one, it has a lot to do with teaching, with learning, with actions as leaders, and so on. So these are the 3 inputs: the leadership, the curriculum, and the teaching. And that's the impact on learning. So if I go back to this, that's the leadership and their role to have a more sustainable future. That's the curriculum and what we should have in that curriculum in order to have a more sustainable future. And that's the teaching and also what teachers should do. But the most important thing, again, what do we call these? These are the inputs. Even if we have the best ever paperwork when it comes to this, if there is no impact on learners, as if we didn't achieve anything. So if we have like a deeper dive in that, Leaders at all levels show a clear commitment to the promotion of a culture of sustainability. And here I want to speak a little bit about leaders. In my opinion, and again, when we speak about truth or whatever, it's a matter of perspective. For me, leaders are, it's not only when we speak about the principal, the general director, or the HODs. Every member in the school is a leader. If he works on himself, if he comes with new ideas. So the teacher is a leader, if he's trying and working on that. Student might be a leader, and he can take leadership in something. So when we speak about leadership, it's not only about the top level of admin. Curriculum, opportunities to develop sustainability. It's very similar to the innovation, opportunities to develop innovative actions. And teachers to offer students various opportunities to implement and design plan for a more sustainable futures. If we have these three inputs, definitely we'll be getting these two outcomes. You will be finding students able to plan independently for a more sustainable future, and definitely they will participate in sustainability projects. Why they are doing this? Because we asked them to do that. We created these opportunities. What's happening now in schools, we'll find different projects here and there. However, if we have this in our curriculum, if we have this in our policies, so it will be a must, it will be a mindset for these children. So, if we want to speak about it, and here I want to speak a little bit about the different, let me speak, the learning communities, okay, between schools and other schools. Different resources might be. Sometimes different backgrounds also might be. For example, in Indian high school, you teach which history? The Indian history. So if I want to speak about the sustainability, so yes, I will be relating and linking that sustainability to Dubai, that's great, but also to the Indian country, okay? However, in other schools, they might be looking at different countries. So it's not something fixed that we'll be working at. But that's the beauty of this, the backward design. So before we start deciding what actions should we take, no, do it in a different way. Let's decide and think and ask our students, what do they want to do? Let them come with different ideas, different projects, ask teachers, ask all the stakeholders in the school, and decide on 2 or 3 different ideas. You have like 4 phases in your school. For example, you have the KG, the primary, the middle school, the high school. What do you want to do? You want to have 1 project or 1 big idea or 2 big ideas for the primary? That's great. In order for our students to be able to do so, I'll take a step back. What should I do as a teacher? So I should provide them with these opportunities. So as a teacher, in order for me to provide them with these opportunities, what should I have? I'll take a step back. I should have this clearly set in my curriculum as a school. If this is there in the curriculum, do I have the support from the leadership? Also, I will take a step back and I will do it like this. Because in my school, okay, let's do this project. Out of nothing, they will start everyone working on a project. But without a study, why we are doing this, yes, definitely we'll be having an impact, but it will be on a specific number of students. However, if everything is there in our curriculum, it's not only about projects, it's about the mindset. In geography, they can speak about sustainability. In English, in science, in Arabic, in history, in all subjects. So it's not only related to science or to geography. And again, it's one of the concepts. And let them start step by step, start from your own school. There is something really nice happening in Dubai these days. It's called Design for Change. You know about it? Okay. So start allocating and identifying the problems that you have in your school. Water consumption. If this is a problem, how can we conserve that? But make sure that this is part of your curriculum, or hidden curriculum if you want to call it, so that the students will start working on this. After that, they can participate on whatever. So the main purpose from doing this is not only to participate in projects just like for media purposes. No, it's for having a mindset, what they can do. So we still have like 15 minutes for this. Let's do it like as a group, okay? And then we will share this with each other. 2 things that you think you are able to implement in your school, or if you have something else that you are doing and you want to share with others, please feel free to do so. So let's take like 5 minutes, okay, to discuss what can we implement. And under that, the fishing activity, you have these lines, right? Let's write these actions there. What do you think we can do in our school, or how to start? Let me give you one.
I think all of us at some level have already started working towards.
That's what I said. We are doing different things, okay? But we don't have like a plan to do this. But none of you spoke about, for example, KG students. When I start from there, KG students, okay? Like 4 years old, 5 years old, they will never ever be able, for example, to follow up on D-Webbles, right? But what they can do,
There are certain projects that we had where they can reduce consumption at home as well as in school, and that we are beginning with the lower grades.
that's amazing. But the thing is, we don't need to focus just on the project itself. As we said, the project is an outcome, as a result.
It's ongoing practices. It's ongoing practices.
Yeah.
Everywhere it is mentioned, it's like a kind of awareness.
But what can we do in our teaching to help them? For example, in English, okay, we give them, or we tell them a story. There are a lot of stories about sustainability and conservation related to their age. In science, also the activity itself, it can be tailored to speak about this. So it's also integrated within the teaching and learning. That's very important. Or even high school students, we give them an essay. Write about this and write about that. So let's start focusing on these new things, because especially when you speak about accreditation later on, okay? If you want to speak about NIASC or either any other accreditation body, the global citizenship will never ever change. And that's a main part of this. So it's great that you have all of these ideas. I hope that you can start working on a framework, or even developing that framework, take it from that stage and start using it in a backward design thing, okay? So that you will start saying, this year or this semester, I want to be able to do this. I will build on that on the second semester, so these students at the end, they can participate in that project. So this is very important to integrate this into teaching and learning. and it will be within the curriculum. So students will be living sustainability just by living any other aspects, okay? So I kept this till the end. This is very important. For sustainability, there are standards. Similar to the NGSS standards, similar to the Common Core, similar to any standard you are using in your schools. So you can take from these standards if you want to map your curriculums. So this is something there. And also, that is a sustainability toolkit. It's a nice one. You can implement this in your schools. Anything you need, more information about the topic, how can we cooperate more and more on that, just email me. That's my email. And please, before you leave, make sure to do the feedback. Go to the website and you will find the link to the session and you will do it. Thank you.